wonder how the stock market works? Does it seem really confusing and overwhelming? I'm going to show you a simple way to look at this so you can understand better how the stock market works. I'm Camille Gaines, founder of financialwoman.com. I began investing in my early 20s, and that was over 30 years ago. So I share what I've learned from investing myself, and the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So it's a learning process, a lifelong learning process. But I've learned so much in the last 10, 20 years, really my whole lifetime, that now I say, wow, I wish I had known that before. And that's why I love to teach about investing. So what I want to show you in this video is how the stock market works as far as it going up and down. So let's just look at this simple chart that I've drawn on my whiteboard. And the market is going up here. As you can see, it has this jagged going up. And then what happens is when it gets to an area, a plateau, it's it's called consolidating. It kind of stays in that area a little bit to stop, decide if it wants to go up or down. Now, the stock market, of course, doesn't really decide. Investors decide, and mostly institutions decide, because they control the vast amount of money that is in charge of what happens with the stock market, right? So the market stops in here, consolidates, and investors decide whether or not the market is going to go down then or continue up with what's called a breakout. So in this scenario, the market went down. It had a really sharp, not sharp so much as just a steep, a nice drop down, which is normal. That's called a bear market, as opposed to going up, which is a bull market. And then the market came back up, and what it does right in here, it will hang out a little bit longer usually, and then it will decide whether it wants to keep passing where it was before. And then here we are again, years later, and it's trying to decide if it wants to keep going up. Drops down, comes back, and then it hangs out in this area where it dropped before it moves on up more. Over the long term, we all know the stock market goes up. In fact, I used to keep a really, really long-term chart right at my desk when I was in my early 30s to remind me that the market goes up, and I was investing with a long-term perspective at that time in my life. Now, of course, I'm not. And so here we are, the market, dropped down. We could say, well, this was maybe 2000, and let's say that this was 2008. Although if it was 2008, I would have to make it worse than it is right now, right? So let's say down here, because we all know some areas of the stock market dropped 50%. So it came back up, and then it had it broke out above where it went down, and it's come back up. Why does it go up or down? Well, bigger picture, it's related to the economic cycle, but which is also, it's related to the earnings of the companies that are in the stock market. And so those earnings are tied to the economic cycles that are happening. And so it's actually fairly logical, but it doesn't seem like it, because it seems emotional, because your money is tied to providing shelter and providing your lifestyle for you. So I wanted to show you in this short video how the stock market works with regard to those movements that seem so random and crazy, so that maybe you understand this better. If you like this video and you'd like to know more about it, please like it below. I love your comments, and share it if you think this was helpful information. Thanks, and have an awesome day. Like and share if you thought this was helpful. Take care.